Okay, welcome to a Boston Business Mentor Masterclass in how to start an e-commerce business. We have one of our Boston Business Mentors volunteers, Rob Stutzman, who's going to explain to you how to start your own e-commerce business. Go ahead, Rob.
Terrific. Thank you, Teresa, and good day, everyone. Thank you for taking time to listen to this presentation on e-commerce. We call it "So You Want to Sell Online," huh? And it's a primer. We only have a limited amount of time, so we're going to hit the surface, but we're going to hopefully give you the landscape of e-commerce. So if you're thinking about venturing into it, you'll have a level set of knowledge to help you along the way. Our agenda, we're going to define e-commerce. We're going to talk about the top major platforms. We're going to talk about choosing the right platform, and we're going to take a peek into the future and see what's destined to come on the scene ahead. As far as myself, I've been in business for over 40 years, 30 of which were at Verizon, where I led global teams in marketing initiatives. When I retired in 2019, I set up an LLC, and I do digital marketing consulting. And I also volunteer with Boston Business Mentors. And within the organization, I am the marketing and social media chair. My email address is there. I'd love to answer your questions if you have any as we go along. And if you want to know a little bit more about myself, you can find me hanging out on LinkedIn. So what is e-commerce? Purely and simply, it's the activity of electronically buying or selling of products on online services or over the internet. It's not your traditional retail commerce. It's electronic commerce, if you will. E-commerce and mobile commerce have dramatically changed the way brands reach customers, making it faster and easier for consumers to make purchases on the fly while avoiding the hassles of going to the store. So why do small businesses use it? Why do small businesses go into e-commerce? Well, one reason is disintermediation, and disintermediation is just a fancy term of cutting out the middleman. So you are able to now go directly to the consumer. And so if you think about traditional retail, you would have maybe manufactured something, you might have sold that to a wholesaler, who then turned around and sold it to a retailer, who then turned around and sold it to a consumer. Now you can go direct to the consumer. And by cutting out the middleman, you can create greater margins for yourself. People go into it for market reach. Opening up stores can be, brick and mortar stores can be very expensive. And by working within e-commerce, you have the geography is unlimited. You have your local market, but you can also extend that out to the nation, and indeed you could be globally selling. Clients use it for brand testing. They like to see which of their items is selling better than the other, so they'll do testing using e-commerce. E-commerce can be great for competitive analysis. When you want to know what your competitors are selling things for, it's now very simple. You can simply go to their site, or you could go to Google, and now you can even go to artificial intelligence and ask it questions about your competitor and get all sorts of great competitive analysis. People use it for market analysis. They want to test market. They want to see if what they have to offer might play in other geographies, and being in e-commerce can allow you to do that. New product launches. People use e-commerce to launch new products. It can be, again, very expensive to do product launches in a traditional way, but with e-commerce, you can do it for much less money, and have the same effect. And mostly people do it to drive top-line revenue growth. So why is e-commerce so important? Well, it's growing, and it's only going to continue to grow. In the end of last year, it was over $6 trillion in sales worldwide. So that's a lot of e-commerce sites that are out there that are selling their goods and services. And what are people buying? Well, they're buying computer and consumer electronics. That's been the number one category for a number of years. People also use it to buy apparel and accessories. They use it for furniture and home furnishings, health and personal care, and beauty, and auto and parts, food and beverage, toys and hobby, books, music and video, office equipment and supplies, and other. Interesting that books, music, and video comes in far down the list when you think about Amazon, which is one of the premier e-commerce sites. That started out as a bookseller, but they quickly diverged from that, and today they sell a tremendous amount of other goods than just books. So how do you get started? First, you want to identify what you want to sell. Take a look at it and say, is it transactional? If what I'm selling is perhaps a service, and if that service requires a consultation and a customized price, that may not be necessarily a good candidate for e-commerce. A good candidate for e-commerce is when you have goods and services, and you can have digital goods and services that you sell, but they're transactional in nature. That's what lends itself to e-commerce. You want to define your addressable market. You want to be careful that you're targeting. It's virtually impossible to sell everything to everybody. And different target markets have different characteristics, whether they be geographic characteristics or whether they be buyer behavior, whether they be based on industry. So you want to define what is your addressable market and really focus in on that. You want to determine who's going to carry the inventory. A lot of platforms today will do drop shipping, so you don't have to worry about maintaining inventory at your location. They'll maintain it within their storehouses and then ship out as the orders come in. Who's going to process the payments? Today, people are used to selling and buying and putting in either their debit card or their credit card or even their checking account. But who's going to process all of that? And you need to make sure you have a platform that allows you to do that. And do you want to be a standalone or part of a marketplace? What you're going to hear about a lot today is more about marketplaces than about standalone. Being a standalone entity out there means that you have to do all of the marketing yourself. You've got to get all the awareness out there yourself, all to get people to come to your site. It's much like when you think about traditional retail selling. I could choose to either open up a store on Main Street, and I might choose Main Street because that has high foot traffic, but I might choose to be located in a mall. And why would I consider a mall over a Main Street in a town? Well, the mall has more foot traffic than you would see going within Main Street in your town. And it's going to have a much more diverse clientele that's going to come. So that's a question you want to ask yourself. Do I want to be standalone or do I want to be part of the marketplace? And do I want full control over my site or do I want to utilize templates? A lot of the platforms today are very accommodating to people that want to open up storefronts. They will bend over backwards to help you out and to get you situated and to get you up and running. Oops, I hit the wrong key. Bear with me. So who are the major players? There's Amazon, there's eBay, there's Shopify, there's Etsy, there's Meta, and there's Google. That's the top 6 that we're going to go over today. And really, to harness the power of the big six is really to harness the future of e-commerce. I did it again. Bear with me. Okay, so let's talk about Shopify. Shopify is a subscription-based software that allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. They offer online retailers a suite of services. They'll do the payments, they'll do the marketing, they'll do the shipping, they'll have customer engagement tools. If you have a brick and mortar and you want to go online, they have a nice point of sale inventory integration where they will make it a seamless transition for people from going from the brick and mortar over to e-commerce. And the company reported that it had more than 1.7 million businesses in approximately 175 countries using its platform back in May of 2021. That number certainly has grown since then. Some of the key elements of Shopify. The first is a website builder. So when you choose to go Shopify, you're not choosing a marketplace. You're choosing to use their platform to build your website that you're going to market out there. The great thing about Shopify is they have templates, but they have them designed in such a way that you can create a very customized and unique website when you set it up. They've set it up for mobile responsiveness. Over half of purchases made today online are being made through mobile devices. They have SEO and marketing tools to help you get discovered on the internet. With the advent of AI, now you have AEO, which is answer engineering optimization. So they can do product management for you. They can do point of sale integration. They have security and reliability. There's analytics and reporting. They've got 24/7 customer support, and they have a global reach. So you're bringing in a global partner when you're talking about Shopify. Just some costs, some general costs. If you set up the basic Shopify, which most small businesses do, it'll cost you $39 a month. The shipping discounts are up to 88%. There is a transaction fee of 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction. If you get your domain through them, the cost is $25 a year. And if you decide to go with a highly customized premium theme, there's an additional $100 to $180 for that. The use cases, what are people using Shopify for? Well, they're opening online retail stores. They're utilizing drop shipping. They don't want to store the items locally. They're using it for digital products and services. A lot of people are artists out there, and they're actually creating art that can be sold in a digitized format. That's just one example of digital products. Books are another example of digital products. It's a subscription-based model. It's got multi-channel selling. People are using it for pop-up shops, and then people are using it as well for print on demand, for fundraising for nonprofits, and for educational materials. The benefits of Shopify is first and foremost its ease of use. It's an all-in-one solution. It has customizable designs. It's scalable. It's got integrated payment processing. It's got global commerce capabilities, and it's got an app store for extensions and inventory management. So the main thing to think about when you Shopify is that you'd be bringing Shopify in because you want your own site out there, but you don't want to have responsibility for all the infrastructure. The great thing about Shopify, it gives the user that feeling that you have your own site, you're not part of a marketplace, and takes care of fulfillment and they take care of billing. And so it enables you to focus on marketing your website. Amazon, which has been referred to as one of the most influential economic and cultural forces in the world, as well as the world's most valuable brand, it's known for its disruption of well-established industries through technological innovation and mass scale. They announced not too long ago that they were going to go into pharmaceuticals, and that wreaked havoc on the pharmaceuticals industry because they just know that Amazon will come in and disrupt their industry. It's the world's largest online marketplace for business-to-business and business-to-consumer sales. And last year, its worldwide revenues were $716 billion, which were up from 12.4% from a year earlier, which by comparison, Walmart had revenues of $713 billion, and were only up 4.7% from a year earlier. So last year is when Amazon actually surpassed Walmart, one of the largest traditional retailers. They've now surpassed them in terms of revenues and in terms of growth. Some key elements about Amazon is that Amazon has third-party sellers. You create a storefront, you determine What fulfillment options do you want to use? Inventory yourself? Do you want Amazon to store it and ship it? They are looking for they offer, excuse me, a wide product range. Just about anything you see in a traditional retail environment, you could probably find that on Amazon and probably find it. They have a global reach as well. Customer trust is probably their biggest asset that they provide. That people just trust Amazon. They've got the really the hallmark of customer service as far as the consumer and the consumer experience. But they provide excellent services to the seller as well. They've got some advertising promotional tools because if you're doing well, they're doing well. They also provide customer reviews and feedback. And then there's also the Amazon Prime eligibility that people often take advantage of. Some costs for individual sellers. If you are selling less than 40 items a month, it's 99 cents per item to sell. When you hit that threshold, you then switch over to a subscription-based service at $39.99. There are referral fees, and they vary in percentages based on the category of the good. 8% up to 15%. A lot of electronic goods are at the higher end. A lot of the clothing goods are at the lower end. Fulfillment fees are based on weights and dimensions of the products and can range anywhere from $3 to $10 per item. And there's inventory fees. And then there's advertising, which if you do it through Amazon, it'll be 5 to 20% of revenue. So you can see that the costs can add up. So you want to make sure with any of the platforms, you understand the pricing and you have a good forecast of what you think you're going to be selling. And there's a great site on Amazon.com to get into the details of their pricing structure. So some use cases, obviously retail selling, both for B2C and B2B. People use it for drop shipping. They do private label through Amazon. You oftentimes will see the same item sold through different storefronts. It just means that that particular storefront has set up a relationship with a manufacturer, and then they've set up a store on Amazon. And sometimes they compete against each other within pricing. And so that's the benefit that if you have something you want to private label, you can do that. Book authors can publish their works over Amazon. They have some artisan and craftsmen. We're going to talk about Etsy, which is a little bit more geared towards that. And they have resellers, people that are reselling items on Amazon. The benefits they offer: large customer base, trust and credibility, fulfillment by Amazon, easy international expansion, integrated payment processing, detailed analytics, excellent customer service, and the largest online marketplace in the US. It will cost you more than some of the other platforms, but if it will provide you with greater exposure and a customer service experience that is second to none. eBay facilitates the consumer to consumer and business to consumer through its website. It manages the eBay website on an online auction and shopping website in which people and businesses buy and sell a wide variety of goods and services worldwide. The website is free to use for buyers, but sellers are charged fees for listing items after a limited number of free listings, and again, when those items are sold. Some key elements: the online auction and shopping that you see very often. If it's going to be a consumer to consumer, a lot of times people clearing out their attics or clearing out their garages will take and put different items up for auction and sell it through eBay that way. Businesses will do the same with their inventory. If they have either overstock or obsolete inventory, they may turn some of that stock over eBay. They've got diverse product categories. They've got seller tools and services. Again, they want you to be successful because when you're successful, they're successful. They've also got a feedback system. They integrate with PayPal, which a lot of people like that. They like the fact that you can have a certain amount of anonymity going through PayPal where your credit card information is not exposed to the merchant. Um, they have protection policies, both for the consumer as well as for the merchant. They've got mobile accessibility as well. And for those that want to sell automotive, they've got even eBay Motors. They've got listing fees. They're not a subscription service, so you the first 250 listings per month, then it's 35 cents per listing. Then there's a final value fee. So again, depending on what the product is that you're selling, will determine it'll be 30 cents for the order, but then 2.5 to 15.3% per transaction. They also will charge shipping costs, and they also have a payment processing, but their fee is included in the final value fee. And then if you want to open up a store, there is a store subscription plan as well. But most people start out with listings. They grow into the store by selling more over the platform. Some of the use cases, online auction, of course, fixed price sales, eBay stores, classified ads. StubHub uses eBay. They advertise over eBay and they use it for inventory reduction. The benefits of eBay, it's a well-known site, it's been around for many years. They offer outsourced fulfillment. They have a domestic and international reach. They have the opportunity to bid up products. And the online shoppers prefer the marketplaces that you get within eBay. Let's talk about a specialty site, Etsy. Etsy is an online marketplace where independent crafters and vintage, handmade, and custom-made jewelry, clothing, home decor, art, toys, and more. It competes with brands like Shopify and Amazon, but has carved out a corner of the market to a seller pool that's over 80% women. So that's to be taken into consideration when you consider selling your items on Etsy. They're focused on handmade or vintage items and craft supplies. All vintage items must be at least 20 years old, and everything on the site is made, collected, curated, and sold by its sellers. Some key elements, it's multi-sided. You've got a variety of things that are kind of in a niche area. You might find them, if you're not finding them out in the retail space or through other online marketplaces, you might find those within Etsy. It's community driven. They give back some of the profit that they make to the community. So there's a benefit that way. They've got an advertising platform. They've got seller services, and they've got third-party payment processors. Their costs, an insertion fee is 20 cents per listing. Listing will remain on the shop's page for a maximum of 4 months or until someone buys the product. There's a transaction fee of 6.5% for the entire order. For a store subscription is $4.95 per month. They also will charge shipping. And then there's payment processing fees of 3% plus 20 cents per order. Some of the use cases that people are turning to Etsy for is for niche selling. They turn to it for artisan goods, for crafts, for vintage collectibles, and for community and brand building. Some benefits is they've got low operating expenses. They're a very supportive community. They cater to a discerning customer base and an up-and-coming e-commerce platform. It's marketing and SEO support and seller protection. Let's turn now to Meta. What's happened within Meta is that Facebook and Instagram, which are both owned by Meta, are becoming more and more integrated. Just in their general use, you post something on Facebook today and it automatically posts on Instagram. You post something on Instagram, it automatically posts on Facebook. So their shopping experiences have come together as well. Think about them, though, as not necessarily as a marketplace as much as it's a shopping discovery channel. Um, People discover products on Facebook and Instagram and then complete their purchase on the merchant's website. Merchants who are perhaps using Shopify or WooCommerce, which is another platform people use on their own websites. And if you spend time on Instagram and on Facebook, you'll see that ads will pop up. And if you've been looking or if you go into that particular ad, then all of a sudden you start seeing all sorts of ads around the same theme. So if you're shopping for shoes and you looked at a shoe ad, well, suddenly you're going to see all sorts of ads come up offering you opportunity to buy shoes. And the reason that is because of the algorithms that sit serving out what people, they say you must be interested in shoes, therefore I'm going to give you choices, I'm going to give you other people that sell shoes, and you can take it from there. The elements, there's on the Facebook marketplace, there's listings, there's browsing, there's notifications, there's buying and selling, there's promotions, and more so though, they're moving towards the discovery platform where more and more of the information advertising through getting your information out there by boosting it on their platforms. There's no listing fees. There's no monthly subscription. 10% of the sales price. There's a selling fee of 5% per shipment plus a flat fee of 40 cents for shipments that are $8 or less. It includes taxes. There's includes the cost of payment processing. It applies to all checkout transactions for all product categories on Facebook or Instagram. And if a customer files a chargeback, Facebook will place a hold on the transaction amount until the chargeback is resolved. But most of what's happening today, people are leaving the platform. They're going to the merchant's website. They're doing the purchasing there on their website. Some use cases: business to consumer sales. People that want to do classified goods, that want to have a way of selling them over, a community. People that want to sell with photos and videos. This comes into play a lot with automotive. People are selling their cars over Facebook, and they not only want photos, but they want videos as well. They want to sell within the Facebook ecosystem of over 2 billion users, and they want to use it for selling outdated inventory. It's great for business to consumer commerce. They reach 2.9 billion users. There's a local and community focus. It's free to use. There's integrated messaging. It's easy to list items, and there's no specialized knowledge needed. Again, with all of these marketplaces, they're going to help you. So let's look at Google. Google is a service which allows users to search for products on online shops, websites, and compare prices between different vendors. It's free and requires a account in order to purchase from the platform. In addition to shopping from well-known online stores, users can shop with confidence at lesser-known online stores when they choose to buy directly on Google, which includes a Google-backed guarantee. The guarantee includes Google customer support, which is available 7 days a week, and added assistance if the order is late, and if something is wrong with the shipment, and to simplify the return and refund process, regardless of the seller. The elements of Google is first and foremost price comparison. When you go into Google and you're looking for a particular item, you're going to see a number of different storefronts that come up that are selling that item at a variety of different prices. So you can very quickly do a price comparison on the item that you're interested in looking at. They offer product listings. They have a merchant center, which supports people that want to sell on the platform. There's an integration with Google Ads. There's local inventory ads. There's best practices support, and there's 7x24 customer support. Their costs, no product, free product listings. There's no monthly subscription. There's 0% commission fee. And where they're making their money is on the average cost per click. The average cost per click is $2.69. That's not the sale. That's just somebody clicking, coming to your site for you to make the sale. So if you get a lot of people coming to the site that aren't buying, you're going to have a cost without a lot of revenue behind it. The payment processing, it's provided by the merchant's platform, and the Google auction can drive cost per click prices higher, and is contingent upon factors such as the type of industry, the current trends, and the product or service costs. So you want to look at the costs in line with what it is that you want to sell. Some use cases: online retail. People use it for product discovery. People use it for local shopping. People will use it for targeted advertising, for market analysis, for driving eyeballs to the website. The benefits is you've got wide reach, you've got targeted traffic, you've got an integrated experience with Google search, you've got rich product information, you can do performance tracking, and ultimately you're getting a well-qualified buyer. If somebody's coming to your site through Google, they're already pre-qualified. They're already interested in what you have to sell. So that's a nice warm lead that's coming into your site. So when we look at the big six platforms, what's the same? They all provide listings. They all provide advertising options. Most provide fulfillment. Most provide returns and shipping. Most provide credit card transactions. And all are big and getting bigger. So what's different? Well, Shopify provides an easy storefront setup, customized website, and outsourced fulfillment. So when you think about, I want my own storefront on the internet, think Shopify. Amazon's a trusted provider with a very high user volume. When you think about, I want to be part of the Mall of America on the internet, then you want to think Amazon. When you want to sell something at auction, or you want to get rid of excess inventory or obsolete inventory, or collectibles, think about eBay as a place to sell that. If you're an artisan and you have crafts and they're something that's very unique, you might want to consider Etsy, because Etsy is catering to that community, and you can find your niche within their platform to sell your goods. Facebook primarily focused on the individual consumer. If you want to sell through the Facebook platform, if you want to sell using Facebook ads, consider Facebook. And then if you want to just drive traffic to your website, you want to get people coming to the website to purchase things, think about Google, think about Google Shopping as another way for people to buy your goods and services by coming through the Google search. So how do you choose which platform to bring in? If you want a turnkey storefront with backend fulfillment support, you want to consider Shopify. If you want to be associated with the world's largest e-commerce site, you want to look at Amazon. If you want auction items as well as sell items, think about eBay. If you want to reach a niche market, consider Etsy. If you offer a consumer-oriented product, you want to consider Facebook. And if you want to drive business to your website, you want to consider Google as a top priority. So which should you use? Well, with limited resources, small businesses are wise to do the research to determine which provider will give them the biggest bang for their buck. What you're going to have to do is if you want to get the best platform for your product, you're going to have to do the research within the platform to understand the ins and outs, to understand how to set up your storefront, to understand what it costs, because that's going to determine what you're going to set your pricing at, and then what additional features do they offer if you start to grow. So there is no end-all, be-all platform. It all depends on the product or service that you're trying to sell. So when you think about using, decide whether you want to build on your own or leverage a platform. Define your addressable market, like we said in the beginning. Determine how visual your product or service needs to be. All of the sites have, catalogs and listings, but you might put, in addition to just photographs, you might consider videos as well to sell that. And on Amazon, a lot of their listings have videos, and a lot of them are incorporating people that are influencers, and the influencers are coming out and talking about the product. Decide how you want your goods fulfilled and the payments processed, and determine how much effort it's going to take to manage your store. A lot of people start out with e-commerce as a side hustle, which is good. You can start out small and then grow into it, but just be cognizant of the fact that it's going to take a fair amount of effort to get your storefront set up and then start getting the word out, start marketing, and start determining whether you need to advertise or not. So let's look at the future. Some of the things that are coming down the road. Voice shopping. People want to be able to use their voice to surf, and then if they want to surf, they want to be able to buy things. Artificial intelligence is enhancing the customer experience. Certainly, when you go onto the e-commerce sites today and you bring up their chatbot has gotten very good. They do a much better job of understanding what it is you're looking for and getting the right people and the right answer to you. Mobile commerce, more and more of a shift to people buying things online on their mobile devices. Marketing automation, email and the other social channels are providing more and more automation to users to get them to come to their site. Enhanced visuals to support your brand. Video marketing, if you have a product that lends itself to video. And then dynamic pricing, because unfortunately, the best price often wins. When you're out looking at stuff on these platforms, you'll start to see that the same product being sold by multiple vendors at multiple price points. Still do the research to understand that, make sure you trust the vendor. But dynamic pricing is a technique to lower the pricing to match what you might be finding out there. Omni-channel shopping, seamless experience between platforms. And as we look into the further future, there's this thing out there called the metaverse. It likes to be touted by Meta, of course, as the next thing coming to e-commerce. You can picture an iteration of the internet supporting persistent online 3D virtual environments with conventional personal computing, as well as virtual and augmented reality headsets. It's beyond the internet, and it's coming in the next 5 years. It was so important to Facebook that they changed their name to Meta. But not only Facebook, Meta, but Apple, Microsoft, Google are all pouring billions of dollars into development, and it will change the buyer and seller experience. So far, it's still kind of a technology in search of an application. People are still more comfortable doing, if we could call it, traditional online shopping by going online with their mobile device or with their computer. They aren't necessarily looking to put on headsets or looking to put on special glasses just to do retail shopping. All right, that's the end of my prepared remarks. Teresa, did we have any questions come in?
I do have a couple questions. Do you recommend starting with more than one platform?
I would say if you have the capacity to do that, and if you have a product that lends itself to being sold on more than one platform, then yes, I would say you want to go on as many platforms as you have the capacity for. That's time and money and energy.
Okay. And how do you figure out who your target market is?
So you can figure out your target market by looking at, you know, well, actually, one way is you could take a look at your product or service. You could put it into AI. You could put an AI tool and say, what would be a target market for this product or service, and see what it comes back with. You can do searches on the product or service. You can get a feel for what kind of people are they selling to. As you get a sense of what they're selling to, you can get a sense of the target market coming out of that.
Okay. And the last question is about pricing products, which isn't something we were really prepared to talk about today on this presentation, but it will lead me into the slide that we're currently looking at. So there is a great pricing webinar on our website, bbmentors.org. Look under workshops, videos, and it's a great tool. You can also ask for a mentor to work with you on pricing or on getting your e-commerce started. And you can see the QR code there for reaching out to a free mentor to help you. Also on our website, you're going to find lots of blogs, podcasts, and templates that you can download. Perhaps you want to get a business plan to download to start figuring out how to get your e-commerce business off the ground. So consider those resources, and we're here to help you to be successful. So I think we'll go ahead and close out for today. Thank you, Rob, for your time. And
You're very
we
welcome.
hope to see everyone again on a future presentation.
Sounds great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks.
Have
Bye.